Yeah, good morning, all. I'm Courtney here. Wishing you a very good morning and wishing you a blessed day. Today, short video on something that I actually experienced a couple of weeks ago with my 12-year-old son. So let me put it in context. With my son, asked the school to get in contact with me if there's any concerns. So the school got in contact with me. He was getting a lot of things of checks. So checks are things that like didn't have his equipment. They put in his diary planner. Didn't have equipment, poor effort, and so forth. This particular week, the school had contacted me, and yeah, I was checking his planner. He had a lot of checks. So went upstairs to speak to my son about his checks. Did the fatherly thing. Okay, there's no PS4. For a week, and that's my decision. By once I've made that decision, I then realized that I saw my son getting very agitated. To be honest with you, I saw him trying to manage his anger and frustration in his body. And when I saw his hands physically by his side, physically like this. At that time in my mind, I thought to myself, wow, if this was my mum back in the day, she would have taken 10 steps back and flown at me and say, what, you think you're man in this house now? Yeah? And challenged me with it. That's how my mum dealt with it. And you know what? I love my mum to bits, and that's how she dealt with it. However, me being experienced, I'd say, seasoned in this father thing, and especially working in a school where predominantly black African Caribbean boys and girls, I realized that the anger in my son wasn't really directed at me. It was the frustration that he was displaying, and it was coming out in his behavior. And he didn't know how to manage it, basically. He didn't know how to manage it, so it was showing in his behavior. I actually saw the fact that he was managing it, and he wasn't actually going to do anything with it because obviously I'm his dad, and he loves his dad, but he just didn't know how to let it go. I see this a lot in the community and in the school I work, where a lot of our boys don't know how to manage frustration, annoyance, being annoyed. All those emotions come out in a negative way. So, knowing this, I sat my son down. I said, you know what, son? I'm sorry. This isn't your fault, it's my fault. Sat him down and I looked around his room and I said, it's my fault, because I've given you too much. I've given you too much too soon, and you can't manage the responsibility at the moment. So I explained to him I've given him TV, PS4, things that he's got in his room that some kids don't have at all. Being on holidays, I explained to him that my first holiday was when I was 30. And he's been Disney World twice, Jamaica, Spain. So you know what? I've given you too much too soon. However, while I was explaining this to my son, I got really emotional and I started crying because I realized that I was failing him. It wasn't him, I was failing. The funny thing is that once I started crying while I explained these things to him, my son's heart, my son's frustration suffered. He came over to me, hugged me, and said, Dad, you're the best dad. You are the best dad. You do everything for me, and I love you for it. And he started crying. With that, we both had a good cry, and we promised each other to communicate more, hug more, listen to each other more, and tell each other that we love each other more. And with that, since that day, my son's been getting less checks. Well, he hasn't. He's only got one or two checks. And yeah, it showed me that sometimes we have to just take a step back and talk to our boys on a level, from an emotional level, not just be dad and put a discipline in place, but speak to them from an emotional level. Show them that you're emotional as well. So that was my lesson a couple of weeks ago, and I thought I'd just share that with you. And with that, I'm gone. Father to father, Courtney, take care. God bless. Yeah, remember, God loves you all. Bye.